Nan Goldin's Ballad of Sexual Dependency transformed photography dramatically in the 80s. Some say that the impact that this work made was comparable with the release of Robert Frank's The Americans in the 50s. Her autobiographical record focuses on her own unorthodox life as well as that of a circle of friends, which included addicts, hustlers, transvestites, and prostitutes. She redefined what photography could do and what it could be by producing a mirror of herself and the world. She wasn't an observer of her tribe of societal outsiders. She lived the experience fully and was often the principal subject of her own photographs. She experienced the harshness of life, and her resilience was tested repeatedly. Her beloved sister committed suicide when she was 11 years old. Shortly after, she was seduced by an older man. She became addicted to heroin and coke. She worked as a go-go dancer and even for a time became a prostitute to pay the rent. She has been hospitalized due to the beatings by a lover, and she has witnessed the death of many of her friends due to AIDS and drugs. All of these experiences have shaped both her path and her work. The Ballad, as it has become known, opened the way for a diaristic approach to photography. It has become a genre all of its own. In this time of cell phone photography, Instagram, and TikTok, we are living in a world in which the superficial quality of the style is commonplace and universal. Even though nowadays the images are mostly self-absorbed and self-aggrandizing. Although her work is often provocative and desperate, Goldin manages to instill tenderness and even hope into her images. Nan was born Nancy Goldin, the youngest of 4 children, to Jewish parents in Lexington, a middle-class suburb of Boston. Her father was an economist and her mother a housewife. She was close to her sister Barbara, who from an early age rebelled against the constriction of middle American respectability. She taught Nan to hate suburbia from a very young age, the suffocation and the double standards. She said, "Don't let the neighbors know," was the family mantra. Barbara refused to conform to her parents' conventions, and they institutionalized her again and again. At 19, she took her own life by lying on the tracks in front of an oncoming commuter train. Nan was 11 when it happened. For a long time afterwards, Goldin was almost completely silent. She withdrew into herself and became unmanageable. She got thrown out of every school that she went to. Goldin was shuttled between foster homes until in her mid-teens she ended up at a progressive school in Boston. One of the teachers gave her her first camera, and she began taking Polaroids of herself and those around her. At 15, she had her first show in Boston, which featured a community of drag queens with whom she was hanging out. After graduating from a Boston art college, she moved to New York and started to build a family for herself. Her friends and her lovers became her photographic subjects. She wrote that a group of friends were bonded not by blood, but by a similar morality, the need to live fully and for the moment. At this time she discovered Larry Clark's book Tulsa, and it made a huge impact. It became the benchmark for her ballad work. In the 70s, Clark produced a diaristic record of the lives of a bunch of wayward young people from his hometown. He later directed the controversial film Kids, photographed with them using heroin, having sex, and playing around with handguns. For many critics at the time, this work seemed morally questionable, but for Goldin it redrew the boundaries of what was permissible as documentary subject matter. Goldin wasn't technically proficient, and she would generally flash everything. Because of this, she developed an unstructured snapshot style. She landed up taking thousands of images, and many she rejected. But the images that work really work, because they have a raw intimacy that an outsider would never be able to replicate. For observers, the experience can seem voyeuristic, because we are observing from a position of safety the intimate moments experienced by those living dangerously on the edge of society. She wasn't calculating or acquisitional in her approach to photographing her new family. For her, it was a way of connecting with people. She managed to bridge the gap between observer and participant, and her work is infused with tenderness. She is one of the few artists, William Burroughs might be another, whose work quality did not seem to have been compromised by heroin use. In fact, it probably added to the unconstructed approach that she had to her work. Photography seemed to be a means for Goldin to hang on to life during her harsh moments, including her addictions. Her epic series was originally devised as a slideshow set to music to entertain her friends. She included narration and songs by the like of Velvet Underground, James Brown, and Nina Simone. The shows were held at loft parties, underground movie theaters, and performance spaces. Goldin organized the slideshow around a few basic themes: kissing, nudity, drug use, domestic violence, and sex. The audience back then was mainly comprised of her wayward friends, as well as fellow struggling artists, hustlers, transvestites, and other outsiders. At some stage, art critic J. Hoberman contextualized the slideshow as a film, and after that it became a bit of an underground phenomena. In 1985, it caused a big stir at the Whitney Biennial, and a year later the book was published. Goldin is by no means a one-hit wonder. She went on to produce powerful work after the Ballad. The selection that I've made for this video includes many images from the Ballad of Sexual Dependency, but also other strong images from later projects. The Ballad is a portrayal of a specific time and place, and it's really hard to eclipse something that is so raw and intimate. Success also has a way of removing the edge that comes with the chaos of survival. In a manner, once you remove yourself from the street, the grit and authenticity of the experience is lost. The work inevitably becomes more remote and cerebral. Goldin said that this photograph of her being badly beaten by a lover is the hinge of the slideshow and of the book. It places her at the center of the drama and shifts her from the observer position to that of a participant. Very few photographers have managed to hold this limbo state, never mind continuing to produce strong work over a long period of time. Nan Goldin is now 69 years old, and most of her friends have died. But she still retains her edgy, rebellious streak. Recently she has taken on Big Pharma, particularly the Sackler family and their OxyContin medication. Oxy has enriched the family and kick-started an avalanche of addiction and death. In the US, around 145 people are dying every day from opioid overdoses. Since the publication of Nan Goldin's The Ballad of Sexual Dependency over 3 decades ago, it has served as an inspiration to many photographers to produce more personal and realistic work. It sparks memories in viewers and nostalgia for an experience that they never had. It feels like a drug-induced dream filled with rage, desire, memory, and loss. I hope this video provided some insight into Nan Goldin and her work. Please like and subscribe and join me next time. Cheers.